Families like yours don't usually sit up here, enjoy it while it lasts. Becky Whitmore didn't whisper. She said it clear enough for the whole first-class cabin to catch the tone. Robert Carter's shoulders tightened, his hand resting gently on his son's small back. Helena's eyes stayed locked on the tray table, jaw clenched, her summer dress suddenly feeling out of place in this sea of tailored suits. Elijah paused mid-sip from his juice box, wide brown eyes flicking between his parents. He didn't fully grasp the words, but he understood the look. The one strangers gave his family in expensive places. The clink of glasses. Soft cabin music. A heavy silence settling around row 2. Becky straightened, fake smile fixed, already walking away. But she had no idea who they were. Or what seat 2A really meant today. The silence around row 2 didn't last long. A second attendant, Daniel, approached with practiced cheer. But when his eyes landed on the Carters, the warmth faded. We, seem to have a catering mix-up. Meals for your seats weren't loaded. Robert's voice stayed low. We received confirmation. Weeks ago. Daniel shrugged, avoiding eye contact. It happens. Then, turning toward row 3, his tone lifted again. Mr. Harrison, your steak and lobster are ready. Apologies for the slight delay. Helena's fingers tightened around her boarding pass until it crumpled. Elijah stared at the untouched silverware on his fold-out table, small hands fidgeting. Across the aisle, 3 suited passengers chuckled softly, one whispering, "Priority service, guess it depends who you are." Robert exhaled through his nose, steady but cold. They weren't strangers to this game. But this time, they wouldn't play it quiet. What Elijah reached for next, that changed everything. Elijah's small hand slid into his backpack, pulling out a slim silver case. At first glance, it looked like a game tablet. But as he opened it, a sleek security badge gleamed under the cabin lights, clear letters reading, "Property of Stratacor Systems, Department of Aviation Security." The logo wasn't just corporate. It was federal. Becky, returning down the aisle, paused mid-step as her eyes caught the badge. The fake smile faltered for the first time. Robert met her gaze, his voice calm, quiet, but every passenger nearby leaned in to hear. "My son's part of a federal security research program. That pass grants him access to your aircraft's safety diagnostics." The suited men across the aisle stopped whispering. Helena unfolded the confirmation email on her phone, placing it on the tray table for Becky to see. "Meal package, VIP family, confirmed." Becky's lips parted. No words came out. The ripple effect was instant. Daniel appeared again, confusion on his face as whispers spread down the first-class cabin. Passengers leaned in, eyes darting between the boy's badge, the frozen attendant, and Robert's calm stare. A suited man 2 rows back, silver hair, expensive cufflinks, cleared his throat. "You're with Stratacor." His voice carried just enough caution to suggest he understood the weight of those words. Robert didn't answer. He didn't need to. The badge, the confirmation email, and the tension filling the cabin spoke for themselves. Becky straightened, her face flushed now. "It was just a mix-up," she mumbled. But even Daniel took a subtle step away from her. The overhead speaker chimed. "This is your captain, welcome aboard Altura Flight 305 to Boston." But the atmosphere had shifted. The quiet humiliation the Carters endured. It was unraveling fast. And what happened after landing, no one on that plane would forget. The moment the plane touched down, uniformed staff were waiting at the gate, not for the Carters, but for the crew. 2 men in dark suits, with Altura Airways security badges, boarded swiftly. Their eyes scanned the cabin, stopping at Becky and Daniel. "Elijah Carter," one asked, approaching Robert's family with measured respect. Robert nodded, sliding his ID from his wallet. "He's 10. But his access is valid." And so is the meal confirmation. The men exchanged a glance. Behind them, Becky's face had gone pale. "We've reviewed the flight logs," the lead security officer said firmly. "Selective service, discriminatory remarks, breach of protocol." Passengers watched as Becky and Daniel were quietly asked to gather their belongings. No confrontation. No shouting. As the Carters exited, Robert adjusted Elijah's backpack, Helena holding his hand tightly. At the terminal, a sleek black sign waited by the lounge, "Reserved for the Carter family, Altura Airways sincerely apologizes." No scene. No revenge. Just dignity, finally seen. The Carter family never raised their voices. They didn't cause a scene. But through quiet presence, the truth spoke louder than any argument. Sometimes, dignity isn't about fighting back, it's about standing firm, together, and letting the system reveal itself. If this story made you reflect, share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and don't miss the next story where silent strength changes everything.